So we've discussed in the previous few halachot, we've explained and we've established what the bare minimum for Teshuvah is, what the most ideal and perfect Teshuvah Gemara is. Now the Rambam explains that we've explained the prerequisites to Teshuvah, things that you have to do in order for Teshuvah to work. For example, Azivat HaChet. Yesterday we spoke about you can't still be holding on to the sheretz and dip in the mikveh. You have to get rid of the sheretz, get rid of the tum'ah, and then go to the mikveh. Now the Rambam deviates and says these things are not prerequisites. They're not integral in achieving teshuvah. But, like we've explained many times, teshuvah is not all or nothing. It's not binary. There are degrees in between that also work. So now the Rambam explains ideas and mechanisms that help us achieve a higher level of teshuvah. He explains, Darkei Teshuva, from the ways and the mechanisms, the paths of a Baal Teshuvah, to achieve a higher and more complete level of Teshuvah. He gives a few examples. Number one is, the person who's doing your Teshuvah, who's repenting, must constantly be screaming. What does screaming mean? So they explain it to be tefillah. When we're praying and we're crying out in our tefillot with kavanah, with proper intent, that's mechanism number one, according to the Rambam, if a Baal Teshuvah, what he needs to do to achieve the highest level of Teshuvah. So he explains that it's number one, to pray before Hashem with tears, with kavanot and pleading with all of his passion. And number two is, and give tzedakah. Very important two words, kefi kocho, based on what Hashem has allotted for him, based on his possibility and his yacholet, and what he's capable to do. There's a reason, it's not for naught, that most of the annual funds that our community raises happens in this month. It's not an accident, it's actually a beautiful thing that we do, to understand that giving tzedakah, the Gemara has so many examples, tzedakah saves from death, it rips up bad decrees. All of that is important and all of it is true. And the Rambam says it's part of Darkei Teshuva. Again, it's not integral. You can still achieve Teshuvah without it, but it helps and enables us to achieve higher levels of Teshuvah, giving tzedakah based on our capabilities. Number three is to distance yourself extremely from that item in which it caused you to sin. So there's the element of stopping to do the sin, but still being relevant and still being around it. Someone who has, God forbid, an addiction to drugs or other things, he can stop taking them, but if he's still with that environment, still with those friends who enable him to do that negative thing, it's going to be very hard to stand in his teshuvah. The Rambam says you have to distance yourself from the source that caused you to sin. Distance yourself, push you far from that. Umeshane shemo, and he says change his name. And he quickly clarifies, Kilomar, as if to say, Shani acher ve'eni oto ish she'asa otam ma'asim. I'm someone else. I'm not that same individual who did those actions. Umeshane ma'asav kulan tova. And the next is to change your actions, everything you do, not just in that realm that you sin, but become a better person. Work on your midot. Try to work on doing more chesed. All of your actions to be letova u'derech yeshara, for good and for a proper and for the right path. And lastly, the Rambam says that you should, galut helps, leaving your comfort zone, being in a place that you're not comfortable, helps bring kapara. Galut mechaveret avon, that galut, being in quote unquote exile, brings kapara. Because when you're not in your comfort zone, no one knows you, you don't have any kavod, it enables you to be down to earth and humble. And again, these are not prerequisites, but these are Darkei Teshuva, factors that enable us to achieve the highest level of Teshuvah. These are a few, you can speak at length about them, but these are what Rambam lists. Have a wonderful day.